Hey everyone, thank you for joining me once again for another episode of Unleashed Alchemy. Tamara Tamu here, giving you spiritual support, okay, giving you spiritual wisdom, all right, from my own experiences in spiritual transformation, spiritual elevation. That is a continual process, right? So on this channel, we talk about embracing spirituality as the backbone of everything that we do, all right, so that we can stand firm in our I am power, to go against the grain, to live a soul fulfilled life, so that we can function fully in our spiritual gifts with confidence, with courage, all right? So I am so glad that you are here. Welcome to the channel. And new subscribers, I see you guys coming in. Thank you so much for being here. And I realize that I don't say this, but share these videos, share this channel with other people who have embraced their spiritual odyssey and they recognize themselves as spiritual beings having this human experience. All right, I know we say that a lot, but that is truly what this is. We are spiritual beings having a soul. Okay, we had a soul that took up this body to experience this physical plane. So share this channel with those who could benefit from it. All right, so I have a hot one for you guys today. So listen, for those of you that have been here, you know that one of the main things that I talk about on this channel is the power of our words. I promise you, almost at least one time a week, it seems like, I realize that so many people still underestimate the power of what we say and how that influences our behavior, how that influences what we allow ourselves to take in energetically. It influences everything that we do. It gets into our subconscious. It develops behavioral patterns and thought patterns that do not serve us. All right. So I have an example that I'm going to use. That's kind of what this episode is about. And it's also about how we can respond to people who are attempting, not intentionally, but they have projected their own programming and limitation based on what they have said and what they believe for their own lives, and they are projecting or attempting to project it onto you. How to respond to that without getting your energy entangled in their limitation. Okay? So many people are programmed that even in their attempt to offer some type of inspiration or some type of encouragement or some type of motivation, they project their limitation unintentionally. Now, whether this is done in person, face to face, or through a message, text message, all right, a DM, it doesn't matter. You can choose to respond. You can choose not to respond. If you respond, though, you have to respond in a way that does not get your energy entangled in their limitation, like I just said. And I'm repeating it intentionally because that is important. So, Tamara Tamu, do you have an example? Why, yes, I do. I am glad that you asked. So, I had someone send me a message. The message started off with how they were, enjoying the content. They liked what they were seeing. They liked what I was saying. It was somehow resonating with them, which I appreciate. Okay. And they could have just stopped there, but they did not. After they said that, then they said, you have a hard and difficult road ahead of you. Your road is going to be hard, and you're not going to see the fruits of your labor for a really, really long time. And so I looked at that. I said, well, this is a limitation for this person. Now, I had to also celebrate myself for not being triggered by that, because there was a time when I would have been. There was a time when that would have made me angry. There was a time when it would have made me angry, and there was a time when it would have made me angry. Okay? But it didn't. I just thought, oh wow, this person is caught up in their limitation. So I chose to respond. And I said, let me tell you how I responded. I said, thank you for the compliment. I no longer subscribe to a life of struggle, survival, or difficulty. I said, I accept ease and flow in all that I do. I'm actually seeing the fruits of my intuitive action right now. That was it. That was it. And I got no response. So the reason why I wanted to read to you the response exactly is because if you notice, I never said to the person that I never attacked the person for their message. I took my I am power, I let my I am power stand up for me. So the eyes here are not talking about physical Tamara. It's talking about the elevated consciousness, my sovereignty, my Christ consciousness, God consciousness, elevated consciousness, infinite intelligence, source that moves through me. That is what I connect to. That is the identity that I connect with. There's ease in that. There's flow in that. There is support in that. My intuitive action, I see the effects right now. Because of my I am power, I transcend time. I collapse time. I see quantum improvement. That's the identity that I'm allowing to express. So I never even told the person, well, I can't believe you would say that. I can't believe you would tell me that who are you to tell me that I'm going to experience difficulty? That type of response, that is an example of allowing yourself to get entangled in that limitation energy. This response, when you focus your response on your I am power and the identity that you are now associating with, that you are now allowing to be expressed, no one can argue with that, because that is you. That is your space. You've protected your space, hence you're protecting your energy. No one can argue with that, because you're bringing it back to you in your identity. You haven't said anything. And I did not call their response a limitation. I didn't say it was limited. I kept the focus on my I am power. Now here's the thing. That person most likely has accepted a life of difficulty, or a life of struggle, or a life of learning lessons the hard way, because we are programmed to believe that in order to learn something, it can only come through some terrible experience, or some hard and difficult experience, or some tragedy. That is not the case. And I'm going to say this too. I'm going to bring up the Bible again. We see in that book, whatever you want to call it. There's a book of the story about a person that someone called Job. And supposedly this Job person lost everything, his kids, he had just horrible. He had some disease in his body. Everything was taken from him. The worst thing that could happen to a person happened to this person. And what has happened, or I know what I learned from what I was programmed to believe, that this person, this Job person, because he went through all of this stuff, all these horrible things for a really long time, that he was the most, holy because he went through it and survived going through it. Yes, it shows that he came out on the other side, but I used to always think, why is that story so dramatic? Why is it that we have to go through some difficulty to learn? Is that really true, that we have to go through horrible things to learn a lesson? That's programming. If you never question something, then we just accept it to be so. And no one ever questioned that story. And it was almost as if, I used to hear people when I was a child, and even growing up into my early 20s, I would hear people say, religious people say, oh, well, I'm just like Job, as if that was the thing to aspire to be like Job. Who would want to go through that? So then it becomes a programmed, subconscious programming that, oh, well, in order for me to learn, in order for me to learn a lesson, in order for me to be divine, in order for me to be closer to God, however you define that, I've got to go through this struggle. And that's where we get this idea that God brings disease, or God causes bad things to happen. That's where we get those program beliefs from. It is programming, and it is not true. It's time for us to start questioning those types of programmed beliefs for our own lives, because it is affecting our subconsciousness. It is affecting how we speak about ourselves and our lives and what we want to see in our lives and how we get to live and how we think we get to live, what we feel like we are worthy of. Those program beliefs affect all of that. So it's time to start tearing down those walls, and you start with what you say. You don't even have to believe it the first time you say it. But if you can get into the practice of using your voice. I always say this, there is power when you put your thumb on either side of your neck like this. That vibration, that is power. That is creation power. It is creation power. And it gets into your subconscious to where you'll start to notice your actions without you even thinking. Your actions start to look different. That is your intuition now moving you, and you're being guided by your higher mind. Not programming, but your higher mind has taken over. So now you're moving with action before the over-analyzing can take place, because you're moving with that intuitive power. You're now allowing that creation power that you have set the intention with your voice. You're allowing that creation power to be expressed and be magnetized through you. Okay? So I wanted to bring you that example to remind you that if you come across a person, and again, it doesn't matter whether it's face-to-face, through text, whatever, on the phone, you don't have to respond. However, if you feel like you're going to respond, maybe what they're saying, here's how you know if you need to respond. Is it triggering? Is their projected limitation, has it triggered you? And I would advise, if it has triggered you, perhaps don't respond, because you don't want to open your mouth and say and come across as attacking the person, and then now you have an argument. So now your energy is all entangled, so then you got to clear your energy around that. It's just extra layers. Okay, you could even say, well, you know, if it did trigger you, you could say, well, if that's what you believe, I believe differently, but we can, you know, in the conversation there, we don't need to take it a step further. You could say that. But just my point is, make sure that when you respond, that you are keeping the response focused on your I am power. Also, this is the last point that I want to make. When you are listening to certain things, or if you are attracted to certain titles of podcasts, videos, even songs, there is a reason why. All right. So for example, if we're talking about money, and you have accepted that you are fully abundant in your money, you have overflowing money consistently, and it comes through in avenues that are easeful, that are soul aligned with you and what you came here to do and who you came here to be. That if that is your identity that you have now embraced and accepted, why would you keep listening to anything that is titled, "This is why you're broke," or "Here's how to manifest money"? Yes, I said that. Because if you know that you are already abundant, you don't need to manifest something that continuously flows in your life if you have truly stepped into that identity. Again, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the power of your words. This is what happens when you take on the power of your words. You even watch what you listen to. And if you are attracted to that, then that's information. It's not meant to judge you, but that is information. You have to say, okay, wait, why am I attracted to this video titled, "Here's Why You're Broke"? Is it because there's still a part of me that is still accepting that limitation? Is there a part of me that is still accepting that identity? This is what we do. This is what the power, knowing the power of your words, this is what it looks like. Okay, so I just wanted to drop that message with you with a very real-time example, very recent example. Do not allow people to project their limitation on you, and how to respond without allowing your energy to be entangled in their limitation. All right, if you have any questions for me, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget, the live session in the Magic School is coming up Friday, April 26th, 7 p.m. Get in on this hot live workshop where we'll be talking about how to embrace your role as an energetic pioneer in your lineage. Okay, also, the 90-day spiritual consulting package, I'm still taking on clients for the 90 days. The link for the Magic School and to sign up for the 90-day spiritual consulting package will be in the description box of this video. All right, until next time, cheers.